Previously on Third and Roll.
Crunching of bones and giant 1980s style shoulder pads.
Norman, what is Hamilton doing here that is giving fits to our Toronto Argonauts? I do not like what is happening to this 1980 season for the Argos.
It is an age of Canadian football domination. In the West, the Edmonton Eskimos are a dynasty without equal. Behind the quarterback tandem of Tom Wilkinson and Warren Moon, the Eskimos won 5 consecutive Grey Cup championships between 1978 and 1982. In the East, 4 teams battle it out through a 6-game season to see who will meet Edmonton in the championship game. The Toronto Argonauts have not hoisted a Grey Cup since 1952. Will this be their year? Let's find out. This is Third and Roll.
Welcome to Third and Roll, a Canadian football board game podcast. This is the podcast where we play the 1985 board game Canadian Armchair Football and role play a Toronto Argonauts broadcast. My name is Spencer. This is my brother Alex.
Hello.
This is episode 21. This podcast is now ready to go on a road trip through America. We are getting ready for the final quarter of the final game of the 1980 regular season. I am calling the plays for the Toronto Argonauts, sometimes not that well, and rolling the dice. Alex is doing the same for Hamilton. Let's take you now up into the booth for Edward Welch and Norman Knuckleberger as we are about to start the fourth quarter. Edward, take it away. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. We are getting ready to start the fourth quarter. The Argos are down 7-4, and they are at their own 7-yard line. So the Argos looking to tie it up or take the lead on this drive. I want to remind you that whoever wins this game will claim first place in the Eastern Division and will receive a first round bye, and they can go straight to the Eastern Final. If the Argos lose and Ottawa wins, then the Argos will have to go on the road to Ottawa for the Eastern semifinal next week. But all that depends on the results of this game here today and the game between Montreal and Ottawa. So we've got Jackson coming onto the field here.
I just cannot wait to see what happens in this fourth quarter. This has been a crunchy game, a rumbly, grumbly game, close, hard scrabble, and it just seems like the Argos have been clawing their way over long fields time after time, and yet neither team is scoring hardly any points. This is just a tooth and nail battle to the finish. So here we go. 1 quarter left and a long open field ahead.
Time after time.
All right, Jackson getting ready. It is going to be an off left tackle. And Metcalf gets met at the line of scrimmage for no gain there on the play. Not the start the Argos wanted to have to this fourth quarter. Jackson hands it right back to Metcalf on the reverse. And Metcalf picks up 20 yards there on the play. So the Argos...
First down, Toronto.
The Argos are moving the ball. They are now at their own 27-yard line.
Again, they always seem to find a way to escape from their own end zone.
So Jackson going for the screen pass now. And that ball is caught by Metcalf behind the line of scrimmage. It would be a loss of 3 if he's brought down here.
They're going the wrong way.
But Metcalf slips away and gets an additional 8 yards. So that's going to be a net of 5 yards on the play. It will be 2nd and 5 Argos from the 32-yard line. So we've got Jackson going for a short pass here. And that ball is complete. Dumped it out to Terry Greer on that was a short little curl pass there. Picks up 5 yards. And who comes in to make a big hit? Oh, goodness. David Shaw, and the ball is out. The ball is out. Hamilton being gifted a short field here. What a depressing turn of events here for the Toronto Argonauts. Willie Wood is screaming mad there on that sideline. That was not the result he was looking for. It is going to be 1st and 10 Hamilton from the Argos 37-yard line. So we've got Marler handing the ball off to Crawford. That is a sweep. And it's a loss of 5. Wow, Bruce Clark in there to push him back. A loss of 5 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd and 15. Marler now going for a pass from option. And that ball is overthrown. Overthrown there by Marler. Got a little bit too excited. So after the turnover, Hamilton gets pushed back. Bernie Ruoff coming onto the field, and he's punted the ball. That was a shocking call there by Hamilton. They were at the Argos 42-yard line, and they decided this is too far for a field goal. Although I do believe they tried a field goal from longer earlier on in the game. They have decided to punt the ball to the Argos. Do you want to say something? I'm seeing lots of facial expressions from the Hamilton players and coaching staff, but they are at a loss for words to describe what just happened or what they are going to do next.
Clearly within field goal range, Hamilton just decides to punt, and everybody's freaking out like, why did you just do that? They're like, hey, it's all good. It's 3rd down, okay? It's 3rd down. That's what you do on 3rd down. It's okay. But they just didn't realize how close they were to the end zone. They boom a 50-yard punt way into the end zone.
So I don't know if that's, is that called dysphagia? They had lost their bearings. They did not know where they were on the field. But the Argos say, thank you very much, sir. And so 8 yards deep in his end zone, we have Preston Young getting ready for the kick return. He looks as though he has a seam. It looks as though he has a seam. He is out of his own end zone. He is at the 10, at the 20, and he gets brought down at the 32-yard line. So that's a 40-yard punt return. So he went from being 8 yards deep in his own end zone up to the Toronto 32.
Wow, impressive punt return. The Hamilton coach here is just trying to keep a low profile at the moment.
What ho there, listener. Edward Welch here. Thank you for returning to my parlor. Please, take a seat. Oh, I see you've noticed my shirt. Yes, it has Property of Eden Athletics emblazoned on the front of it. I can tell what's going on behind those eyes. You're thinking, Edward finally had an opportunity to prove himself on the rugby pitch. Oh, you Burke. This is no such tale. The year, 1949, spring session. I was in my stone room reading Nietzsche when there was a rap at my door. Who did I see when I opened it but my floor mate Woggle? Woggs was telling me about how he needed a partner for a game of fives. Handball wasn't my bag, but I was chuffed at the invitation. Imagine my dismay when I learned he didn't want me to play. He'd lined up a ringer from Harrow School, and his partner just needed my student ID card to get onto the court. You both have brown hair, he said, anticipating my skepticism for this ruse. He offered me a fifth of sweet Geneva to secure my card, and I didn't object. I had no plans for the card this evening. I closed the door, newfound gin in hand, and returned to my book. I awoke with a start late that night as Woggs accosted my door with triumphant enthusiasm. He shoved a medium gray Eton Athletics t-shirt into my chest. Fruits of victory, he said. And that, dear listener, is how this shirt came into my possession, not through athletic accomplishment, but through my acquiescence to subterfuge. It still fits, though.
So we have Jackson on. He is going to go for a fake reverse to Metcalf. Metcalf, no gain there on the play. That is going to bring up 2nd and 10 now for the Argos, who are going to go back to Metcalf on a reverse. He has the corner and he picks up 15 yards there on the play. However, our striped friends on the field have something to say about that.
There's a flag on the play.
The ruling on the field is illegal interference on the defense. Illegal interference. You cannot get in the way of a player like that who does not have the ball. Illegal interference, that is a 15-yard penalty. It is still first down for the Argos.
Bit of a desperation move on the defense there. They're really scrambling, not really sure what they've gotten themselves into here.
So the Argos at their... Apologies, they are onto the Hamilton side of the field. They are at the Hamilton 48-yard line.
First down, Toronto.
And they are going right back to Metcalf on an off-right tackle. And Metcalf picks up 10. He gets around Greg Dubinitz, and he picks up a first down there on the play. So Argos moving down the field. They are now at the 38-yard line. They're calling an over-center run, and he picks up 2. Not much there, so that's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Big second down here.
The Argos are going for a sweep. So on 2nd and 8, the Argos pick up 6. They pick up 6, so that is going to bring up third down.
Oh yeah, this is one of those moments. Yeah, this is the time for the theme song of a television game show.
Wow, Norman.
This is about to be rebooted in the near future, I believe.
So, 3rd and 2. Zenon has not had a great game so far. So they are down at the Hamilton 30-yard line. So that would be a 37-yard field goal. And Willie Wood has made his decision. Then the offense is staying onto the field. The offense is staying on the field. They are going to go for it here.
It's showtime.
This is quite a moment. Can you feel that playoff intensity?
So on 3rd and 2, Jackson hands it off to Metcalf, who does an off left tackle. And Metcalf picks up the first down after an 8-yard scamper out to the left-hand side. So the gamble pays off for Willie Wood and the Argos. This hometown crowd is loving it.
So they got the correct question. Let's see how much they wagered. Oh, they wagered 7 points. All right, it's good, but they're not there yet.
They're not there yet, but let's see if they can get there soon. This has been all Metcalf on this drive, and that is staying the same. They are going right back, now running out to the right. And Metcalf gets stuffed for no gain there on the play. And we have, once again...
There's a flag on the play.
There's a lot of penalties here in the second half here, Norman.
Well, like we've been saying, this is a crunchy game, and sometimes there's just a bit too much bite on that crunch.
The ruling on the field is offensive roughing and unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. These are 2 major 15-yard penalties on the offense. You cannot attempt to take a bite out of a defensive player. That is unacceptable, and it has no place within this game.
Wow, so we have the referee doing a little bit of editorializing there.
Eduard, this is the time when I look around to see whether our commentator booth is reinforced with bulletproof glass. Not that we're the targets in particular, but these officials, I hope they have some kind of armed escort to get out of the stadium with. Because this crowd just feels like playoff victory is being snatched from them by the Zebra crew, and they are just not swallowing this easily. Another one of these 15 plus 15, these massive statement penalties by the officiating crew saying biting on the field is unacceptable and trying to teach a moral lesson with negative yards.
This is a Friday night game. This isn't Sunday. Leave the moralizing for Sunday, guys. Come on.
Oh yeah, unless we forget, it's Halloween. I mean, it's okay to have a little bit of monster action on the field.
Mark Jackson thought I suppose he's dressing up as a vampire for Halloween and tried to take a little bite there out of his opponent. Wow, so that pushes the Argos way, way, way back.
You can stop walking when I tell you to stop walking.
Are they still even on the Hamilton side of the field there?
I feel like they just keep getting farther and farther away.
They are at the Hamilton 54-yard line.
53, so...
They are at the Hamilton 53-yard line.
So I believe it's a 2nd and 41.
A 2nd and 41. Goodness. You know, if this was Dave Marler, he'd probably go for one of his ill-timed quarterback sneaks like he did during the Labor Day game. But we're not going to be doing that today. So the Argos they are on the far side of field goal range. So it looks as though they will attempt to recover a first down here, but we shall see. So we have Jackson going for a long pass to Greer. That ball is caught. It's caught by Greer. Greer, that was a 35-yard bomb to Greer. He needs 6 more to pick up the first down. And he picks up 2. Oh, no.
So close. But here it's one of those...
3rd and 4.
Those brain busters again.
3rd and 4 at the 16-yard line.
This is the 3-minute warning.
So when we come back, we will see... Does Toronto elect to go for it on 3rd and 4, or will they kick the field goal to attempt to tie the game? We'll be back right after this.
This is Chad Owens, the Flying Hawaiian and former receiver for the Toronto Argonauts. You're listening to 3rd and Roll, a Canadian football board game podcast.
So we have a decision has been made.
Okay, everyone gather around.
Zenon Andrushishin
Is coming out onto the field.
I kick.
Looking for an opportunity to redeem himself here. They are at the Hamilton 16-yard line. So that would be a 23-yard field goal. The audience here at Exhibition Stadium is quiet. You can hear the wind coming in off of the lake. You only hear faint echoes of Dave Marler screaming "Jinx, jinx, jinx" on the opposition sidelines. Other than that, it is as quiet as a church mouse in here. Zenon holds his finger to the air. He's getting a sense for the wind. He's lined up. The ball has been snapped. The hold is good. The kick is up. And it's good! It's good! With that, the Argos have tied the game. It is 7-7 here in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Wow, Norman, thoughts?
Massive sigh of relief here in the stadium after an incredible roller coaster of a drive right there. And now we're on to a classic football finish. 3 minutes, tie game, anything can happen. Greetings from the desk of Dr. Footius Balloonicus. An early description of the game of football is left to us in verse form from Englishman Alexander Barclay in 1510, writing, "They get the bladder and blow it great and thin, with many beans and peasen put within. It rattleth, shineth, and soundeth clear and fair, while it is thrown and cast up in the air. Each one contendeth and hath a great delight, with foot and hand the bladder for to smite. If it fall to the ground, they lift it up again. Overcometh the winter with driving the football." Should they go for it onside?
That is the question. Yes, Norman. Do you think the Argos would consider going for an onside kick here? No one would see it coming.
You lost your fragging mind.
There's nothing being tipped off in terms of their formation so far, but we do have
Zenon Andrushishin
coming out up to his 45-yard line. Looks as though he is getting ready to kick. And yes, it will be a regular kickoff. So they are going to put it onto the backs of the Hamilton offense to try to beat the Argos on the road. The kick is up. And that is our 60-yard kickoff there from Zenon Andrushishin, which brings the ball down to the Hamilton 5-yard line. And Hamilton on the return is able to pick up 25. Hamilton will take over from their own 30-yard line. They have 25 plus 55 is 80 yards to go. But really, maybe they only need a good 30 or 40 if they want to get within field goal range. Or who knows, maybe they'll choose to punt it instead. So we've got Marler going for the pitch out, and it is a loss of 2. Good start here for the Argos defense. That's going to bring up 2nd and 12 now. Marler going for a pass from option, and he picks up 15 yards, so they have the first down. And then they pick up an additional 2 after the reception. So that is going to be a 1st and 10 Hamilton from their own 45-yard line. There are 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Marler handing the ball off to Rufus Crawford. Rufus is going for a reverse. And he gets stopped for no gain there on the play. So that's going to be 2nd and 10 now with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in that game. Marler is getting greedy now. He's going for the long pass. And that ball is complete to Jackson. 25 yards through the air. Where was Preston Young on the coverage? That was a busted coverage there from the Argos. Clarkson was wide open.
Good old Clarkson.
And they pick up an additional 8. And with that, Hamilton is at the Argos 34-yard line. There are now 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Hamilton is already well within field goal range.
Or punt range, as they sometimes like to call it.
And so Marler looking to slow things down. It's an off left tackle. And who is there to stop him? Bruce Clark. Will Clark be able to maybe strip the ball from one of these Hamilton Tiger Cats and give the Argos a chance at victory here? So there are 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in the game.
They still haven't raised their shields. Raise ours.
So on 2nd and 10, Marler is going for the pitch out. He picks up 8 on the play. And so that is going to bring up
3rd down.
3rd and 2. This is a hard decision. This is not as straightforward as you'd think. There are 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the game. Hamilton is thinking. Norman, what do you think the Hamilton coach is thinking right now?
Well, I think he's really repeating to himself, don't punt. And I think he's learned that lesson. But he's sending out the kicker. And yeah, he's got it looks like he got a placeholder there, so here they go. They're going for the kick.
They are going for the kick, folks. Okay. So we've got Bernie Ruoff coming onto the field from the 25-yard line. That would be a 32-yard kick. The snap is good.
Thanks.
The kick is up. And it's good. It is good.
That's not good.
Hamilton has jumped right back out into the lead. They are up 10-7 here in the fourth quarter with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining.
But here we are, even deeper into this classic football finish. 80 seconds, 3 points down. This is what it's all about. Can Toronto deliver to their fans an absolute thriller?
So as we currently sit in the East Division, Hamilton has 7 points with 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Ottawa, because they won the season series against Toronto, are in second place with 5 points with a 2-2-1 record. Toronto is in third, also with 5 points, 2-2-1, and Montreal is in last place with only 3 points. So if this game were to end in a tie, Hamilton will still be first in the East, as they would have 8 points to 6 for Toronto. The only way the Argos can get first place in the East Division is to win this game. So that will factor into the play calling for Willie Wood going into this final minute and 20 seconds.
So row well and live.
It's your interview man, Todd here. Once again, checking in from the road. I'm here at a rainy gas station in Sault Ste. Marie with some exciting news. After weeks and weeks on the road, following lead after lead after lead, I'm happy to report that I am coming home. I am coming back to Toronto, back for the playoffs. So as I return to Hogtown and to the home of our beloved Double Blue, I'm excited to say I am back for more interviews, and these interviews will be of a playoff caliber. I have been honing my skills out here on the road, talking to random strangers, or as I call them, unknown friends. And I am ready to get back out there. And I'm heading right back home, back to Toronto, and I will be having interviews throughout these 1980 playoffs. And I hope it will inspire you and the Toronto Argonauts on to victory in the 1980 Grey Cup. On the road in the rain, this is Todd Gray saying, see you soon.
So we have Bernie Ruoff on for the kickoff. And that is a 65-yard kick. Goodness. So the Argos are going to have to start from their own goal line.
Right from their own goal line. That's a proper drive. They're going to make it all the way down the field. That's where they have to go. So
they need 110 yards in order to claim first in the East Division. Could it all be on this one play? It's been a while since we've had a kick return TD, but it can happen in this league. We will see. That won't happen on this drive, at least. But still, a decent 25-yard return there for the Argos. So with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining, the Argos are at their 25-yard line and have 85 yards to go for the win.
Oh, I can feel it in my belly. I feel that tension. I never like to eat right before a game because I can just feel it. Everything's on the line right now.
Jackson going for a pass from option, and that ball is incomplete.
There's a flag on the play.
The ruling on the field is offensive holding on the Argos. You cannot grab a defender in such a manner. Offensive holding, 10 yards on the play. So that will bring up 2nd down and 20. Pardon me. Hamilton has the choice to either accept the penalty or decline the penalty and take the loss of down. If Hamilton accepts the penalty, it will be 1st and 20. If Hamilton declines the penalty, it will be 2nd and 10.
That is a tricky call. Could go either way. And it looks like they're saying, forget the holding. We don't like that penalty anyway. We'll just take the down.
So Hamilton goes for the loss of down over the change of field position. I think that makes a lot of sense considering that Toronto is only going for the touchdown. They get no benefit really out of the field goal. Although, I will point out, if Ottawa loses their game and Toronto ties this game, Toronto would be vaulted into 2nd place and would have a home playoff game.
This is a very complicated case, Maud. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and a lot of strands to keep in my head, man. A lot of strands in old Duder's head.
Something to keep in mind as we head down this final stretch, as there are 1 minute remaining in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Argos, still at their own 25-yard line. Jackson is going to go for a screen pass, and that ball is complete to Metcalf. Metcalf picks up 7, and he gets no gain after the catch, but it's a pickup of 7 for Metcalf.
There's a flag on the play.
Oh, they're just really, these officials are just really having fun with their laundry here, just throwing it all over the place.
So as it stands, the conclusion of the play would bring up 3rd and 3. Let's look at what the results of the penalty are here.
The ruling on the field is offensive clipping on the offense. You cannot block a player from the back, only from the front. I don't know how many times I have to say that within this one game, but guys, stop blocking each other from the back. That is a 15-yard penalty.
Wow. Okay, so a lot of clipping going on in this game, Norman. So this brings up two options. If Hamilton chooses to decline the penalty, it will bring up 3rd and 3. If they choose to accept, it will bring up 2nd and 25. So Hamilton has decided to accept the penalty. 2nd and 25. The Argos are pushed back to their 10-yard line.
Wow, these officials. I mean, I hope the officiating union is going to hire some new security, because this hometown crowd here is just ready to kill. It just feels like the Zebra crew is just ripping the Grey Cup opportunity away from these Argos, just to penalize them for these little details about, hitting people. You have to hit them in a way that doesn't cause permanent injury. These little details like that may cost the Argos a chance at a first-round bye.
How dare these refs try to make sure that people who can't defend themselves do not get hit. 2nd and 25. Jackson staying out there on the field. He's looking at Greer. He's saying, just go. Just keep running. Just keep running. They're going for a long pass. That ball is up. And it is incomplete. Incomplete. This could be the end of the Argos' hope for a playoff bye.
There's a flag on the play.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
3 plays in a row. I mean, can you just hear the crowd is just, there's just a boo of increasing intensity here.
So with 40 seconds remaining in the game, let's see what the call is here from this officiating crew.
The ruling on the field is offensive clipping. Clipping on the offense. Guys, have you not been listening to me? You cannot hit players from the back. Yeah. Maddening. Now I got to worry about my safety and the safety of my family just because you guys can't listen? I made this excruciatingly clear. I am going to turn off my mic and I am going to run and duck for cover.
Wow. So, Norman.
Okay, we're starting to see some bottles. Okay, yeah, this is getting ugly here. We're getting some bottles on the field.
This is really ugly. Really ugly. Fans throwing bottles of water, because as we recall from our interview with the representative from Carling O'Keefe, you can still not sell beer at Exhibition Stadium. That's probably something that will change at some point in the future, but we will wait and see. But they are furious, and they are not loving it one bit. So, it's clipping on the offense. I have to presume that Hamilton is not going to accept that penalty. So the Argos are at their own 10-yard line, so that would be half the distance to the goal, but would give them an extra down. So nope, Hamilton is declining the penalty. The result of the play is incomplete. So this is going to bring up, this is it, folks. This is going to bring up a 3rd and 25. This is the chance for a first-round bye playing out on this play with 25 seconds remaining in the game. So the Argos need 25. Jackson is going for a pass from option. That ball is complete. It's complete to Greer. For 15 yards, Greer needs 10 more. And he fumbles the ball! Greer! No! Wow, he had 10 yards to go to get the first down. He could not hold on to the ball, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats will take over at the Toronto 30-yard line with only 10 seconds remaining in the game. The Hamilton seem to be gesturing that they want to kneel, but as I can refer you to the play chart, that is not an option. Perhaps they'll try to go for a quarterback sneak or something like that?
They're being told that they can visit the church after the game if they choose, but in the Canadian Armchair Football League, there is no victory formation. There is no kneeling play. You play till the end.
So they are going for an over-center run right up the middle, and they pick up 1 yard on the play. So there are zeros up on the game clock, so this will be the final play of the game. Marler keeping it to himself. This is a quarterback sneak. Wait a minute.
Hamilton has called a timeout. They've decided that they want to kick another field goal.
Wow.
The fans are not happy with this. You're just like adding insult to injury here. They already have enough to win.
I mean, to risk the possibility of a mishandled snap or a missed kick that is returned for a touchdown. But hey, why not? Go for it. I mean, Hamilton has made some head-scratching calls so far this game, but they have the lead.
Seems like they're trying to make up for that time when they didn't kick the field goal and they punted instead when they should have kicked the field goal. Now they're like, hey, it's okay. We'll make up for it right now.
So this is going to be a field goal from their 25-yard line. Bernie Ruoff. The kick is up. And it is wide, but it is through the end zone for a single point. So that is the end of the game. So Hamilton not making any friends whatsoever in Toronto. They had victory in hand, and they choose to rub it in the Argos' faces even more. So that makes the final score of this game 11-7.
Hey, Edward, this is a bit of a sensitive situation here. We really need to exit the premises as soon as possible, but it's not safe to do that. So I think our best bet is to lock the door of the commentator booth. There is debris landing on the field. There are spectators who are taking to the turf. This is a very unhappy home crowd here.
This is not Toronto the Good that we are seeing here today, and honestly, I can't blame them. But Norman, before we take off our headphones and buckle down for what I'm sure will be a long and treacherous night, let's just check in on the other game in the league so that we will know what will be happening in the Eastern Division.
Well, Edward, you always make sure you get the job done no matter what.
So it's very hard to hear over all of this upset fan noise outside. Again, these glass water bottles are being pelted against the plastic window here. It looks as though it has enough structural integrity to hold up, but I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, we have to get behind some hard cover here.
Coming through the wire, it looks as though Ottawa has pulled off victory against Montreal. So it was a final score of 18 for the Ottawa Rough Riders against 10 for Montreal. So your updated division standings are Hamilton in first with 9 points, Ottawa in second with 7 points, Toronto in third with 5 points, and Montreal in fourth place with 3. So the Montreal Alouettes have been eliminated from the Canadian Armchair Football League for the 1980 season. Next week, it will be the Toronto Argonauts on the road going to Ottawa and Lansdowne Park for the Eastern semifinal. The winner of that game will go to Hamilton for the East Division final, and then the winner of that game will go to face those beasts in the West, the Edmonton Eskimos, in the Grey Cup. So that is going to be coming up next week. Wow. Stay tuned for that.
Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. I think we're going to have to cut short any post-game commentary because there is a security situation here at Exhibition Field, and we need to take cover. I just hope those officials are going to be okay.
Next time on Third and Roll.
Ottawa.
Versus
Toronto.
We need to talk about Ottawa.
Yeah, well, you better watch yourself in the playoffs.
Let's go.
Third and Roll is an independent Canadian football board game podcast recorded in Toronto, Ontario in 2020. Today's episode features the voices of Spencer, Alex, and Subi.
This works for me.
Thanks, Subi. This episode was edited by
Spencer Adams from Toronto.
Our cover art was illustrated by Bryce Hall. If you'd like to support the show, please tell a friend or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher you use. You can reach us on Twitter at Third and Roll or by email at thirdandroll, all one word, @gmail.com. Our theme music is Magic Mountain by Jazzar, used through a Creative Commons Attribution license at freemusicarchive.org. New episodes every Wednesday. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Third and Roll.
I'm not an afterthought, Spencer, but I'll move on.